Hi you guys, welcome back to Beautiful Teaching, and in today's video we are going to be talking about teacher salary. Now this is a really important conversation because so many times I see in the comments, I see people just discussing how they are afraid to join into the teaching profession because they think that they won't make enough money and it stresses them out, so they don't even want to try. Now this video is actually more of a collab tag video. There's a whole playlist and I really recommend that you watch many other teachers because districts and states vary. I live in Southern California and it's very expensive to live in Southern California. So my teacher's salary is going to be extremely different than other teachers. So I encourage you to look it up, do your research, and if you are still like afraid or nervous about the teacher salary, comment down below and I'll try to help you out as best as I can. Just a little intro, my name is Bre. If you aren't following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me right down here. And I am just entering my third year of teaching. I taught third grade for 1 year at a different district, and I am in my second year of teaching fifth grade at a new district. Now this is my experience at this one district in my hometown. I am moving in a year from now. If everything works out, I will be in a new area, hopefully hired by a new district, so it is going to vary. This is just my experience for right now. Going off of discussing about salary, I think it's really important just so you know what you could make, and especially if you do a couple things differently, you can make significantly more. Even if you're in this district, you can move districts and make so much more. Now, before I begin discussing about teacher salaries, I do want to give some background knowledge about myself. So in regards with money, I would consider myself very smart with money. I love saving money. I love just being smart with my money and saving it. There's a part of me that even hates spending money, which is really almost a flaw because I feel guilty taking vacations. Now, my whole college journey, I always had in my mind, I want to be financially stable. I lived out on my own for a year and I was very broke, which changed my perspective on a lot of things. So I was able to live at home rent free. My parents allowed me to do that, which helped me out so much. And then also I worked full-time as a manager at Office Depot all throughout college. And then I subbed and worked at Office Depot through my credentialing program. And then I worked as a full-time teacher during my master's degree. So while I was doing my education, I was working at the same time. So there's some background knowledge for you. And because I did live at home and worked full-time and went to online courses and did a extension campus and did like in person, but it was a much smaller student population, I didn't get a college experience to where a lot of people do, but that was the sacrifice that I wanted to make so I would be financially stable long term. I did sacrifice like the whole college experience and I don't regret that decision. Question number 1 says, what state or country do you live in? And I live in California. To be more specific, I live in Southern California on the very edge of LA County. Number 2, how many people live in your household? So in my household, my brother and I purchased a property and we are renting it out. So I have, technically, it's me and my fiance living together, and then my brother rents a room, and we have a roommate that rents a room. So that's my current living situation. However, after my fiance and I get married in May, we are moving to somewhere new, start our own life. So I will count 2 people living in our household. It's me and my fiance. That's the only 2 people that like combine income and help each other out. Question number 3, are you single or double income household? So I'm not married yet. I have just been single this entire time, even though I've been engaged for over a year. My fiance and I have not combined income. So I would just say we're single because I pay for my own bills. I pay for my own student loans. I pay for my own rent. The only thing is like I go grocery shopping for both of us and I meal prep for both of us. So I just say, hey, fiance, can you Venmo me half of the grocery bill? We keep it very in half, and we've always done that until we're married, of course. Question number 4, do you own or rent? So again, my brother and I purchased this house and we literally flipped it. We got it in terrible condition. We spent a whole year working on it, and I would say we're like 90% done working on it. The loan, the mortgage is in my name and my brother's name, but we have renters that pay the mortgage, but I still pay the mortgage. I hope this is making sense. If you want to be technical, technically my fiance is paying rent. I own the house, so I pay the mortgage, and then my brother pays the mortgage, and our roommate pays rent. Hope that makes sense. Number 5, what is your highest level of education? My highest level of education is having a master's degree in education with an emphasis on curriculum and instruction, and I earned that during my first year of teaching. I graduated actually a year ago. Does your education affect your pay? Yes, it does. I printed out, so I was ready with numbers. If I didn't have my MA with post-grad units, I would be making mid-50s. However, since I have my master's degree and I actually maxed out of the pay scale, which I will talk about later, I make, going into next year, low 70s. So because of my master's degree, I would say I earn about 10,000 more a year. However, keep in mind, not every district honors a master's degree. When I move, I am going to ensure and hope I can get a position that pays me more because I do have my master's degree, which is a huge reason why I got my master's degree. Question number 6, how much did it cost you to attain your degrees? So it took me 5 years to obtain my bachelor's degree in early childhood adolescent family studies. Then it took me additional year and a half to get my teaching credential for a multiple subject, and then it took me about 8 months to obtain my master's degree, and I'm going back for a single subject. So all in all, I think it cost me $36,000 for my whole education. However, I do want to keep in mind I attended a JC straight out of high school because I went the very cheapest route possible. I was fortunate and privileged enough to stay at home while I went to school. I only moved out for 1 year. I moved out to Orange County and was extremely broke. I actually had to pull a big chunk of loan out to survive, and I realized that's not what I want to do. Like, I want to walk out of my education with as little debt as possible. So I decided to move back home and do online, satellite, some in person. I'll link down my teaching story down below if you're interested. I go more in depth, about $36,000, and I'm working on paying that off. Question number 7, how is your salary schedule structured? Paper here. The lowest on step 1, class B, when you just have your bachelor's degree, is $49,000. Pretty good. The max after 15 years of teaching, so they actually max out at 15 years. After 15 years of teaching, you will max out at $95,000. Actually, looking at this, I would like to make more than that. I would say after 15 years, I would want to keep building. So that's something to look at. When you get hired or you have many different opportunities in front of you, I would definitely look at the pay scale and look at your max, because your max of what you retire as is going to be your pension. Very interesting. So I'm just going to show you an example of what it looks like to be on a salary schedule. And I'm literally just showing you numbers, and I am crossing all names of my district out and everything. So this is what a salary schedule looks like, at least for California, what I have seen in the public education system. So we have here are steps. So your steps here means how many years of teaching. On the top is your educational post-bachelor units. And I actually have maxed. In my 3rd year of teaching, I have maxed on the salary schedule, or I've maxed on the education. So there's really no more education I can do or purchase to max me out. Now, if you're in California and you are doing induction, which you have to do, you can purchase those units. That's what I did. I was 1 unit short from going to the next pay bump. So I purchased 3 units through induction, and now I'm maxed. So you can purchase your units through induction. You can do like 8 a semester. You just got to look at it through your district, but you can purchase them. Keep that in mind. That's like a good thing about induction. Number 9, do you supplement your income in any way? If so, how? I really don't. I don't touch anything I earn extra. I like to just save. I'm a big saver. I'm planning on buying another house in March, hopefully. So I'm just always like save, save, save. So I supplement a little bit, but it's like extra on the side. I don't even touch it. Like that's literally for a rainy day, or if I want something for YouTube, like a new camera or something. 10, how much money does your district give you for your supplies at the beginning of the year? So at my last district, none. This district, they gave us $250, which was super nice. So thank you. I bought a lot of stuff with that. Do they provide basic supplies throughout the school year? Yes, both districts did. My last district, I didn't get any paper. Like it was kind of like a fight for the paper, and then I had to like buy my own or ask my students for paper, which I did receive. But at my current district, they give us a whole 10 reams of paper a quarter. Number 11, do you have additional deductions taken from your paycheck? Yeah, so in California, we have union dues. I don't think I've ever said this on my channel, but I'm such a huge advocate for my union. I love my union. Wherever I move next, I want to eventually be a union rep. If you are a new teacher, I just recommend joining a union because they save your butt. And my last district, I wasn't rehired. I contacted my union and they just helped me make sure that I was protected and safe applying for a new district position. So I would just recommend a union. I love you, union. I love you. I want to be a union rep. I want to fight. And then of course with my health care, I will say is fabulous. I only pay $15 a month for my healthcare, and that goes with vision. Like I think the healthcare is fabulous. It's amazing. And then with taxes, I think I get taken out like $1,000 tax each month, probably more. And then with like retirement and stuff, I don't actually like break it down that well. I should, but I don't. I should, but I don't. Oh, going back to the union, I think I only pay $89 a month, but it's worth it. When you're a new teacher, they give you this meeting about joining the union, do it. That's just my humble opinion. It's good to be protected and join that unity, and if we gotta fight, we fight. Number 12, do you feel like your current salary is enough for you to make ends meet? Yes. Being 26 years old, making low $70,000 a year in the situation I'm in, I'm able to make ends meet. And I love what I do, and I'm just really happy with my pay. And it goes up every year, and I'm happy about it. And there's always like extra opportunities to earn more. Are like PDs available after school that they pay you for, and it's like $35 an hour when you go, at least for my district. And then there's just always like little ways you can make money within teaching at your district. So there's like PDs, and there's extra after school and clubs. And another reason I want to move to middle school is because I want to coach something. I grew up in athletics. I grew up playing softball. I want to coach something. Number 13, how many months a year do you receive a paycheck? 12 months out of the year. Thank gosh. Thank you. My last district was 11 months out of the year, and I know some districts are 10 months out of the year. Number 14, in general, what are your major monthly expenses? Mortgage, student loans, credit card. But I pay my credit card off every single month. I put in savings because I put all my bills on my credit card, and then I just pay off my credit card and then my student loan. So I will probably make this video again like in 2 years from now, just to see the differences in the living incomes, because I don't have kids either. I don't have kids right now. And I paid my car in cash. I do not like to purchase new vehicles and pay a butt ton in interest. I refuse. I am looking to purchase a new car in like 2 to 3 years before I have children. I don't know what route I'm gonna go with that. I definitely buy used. I never buy new, ever, because it depreciates in value so rapidly, and I refuse to do that. And we actually spend kind of a lot in groceries because my fiance eats a lot. 15, are there any financial goals that you're still working towards? Yes, I think I've said this 20 times, but my fiance and I are going to be moving in a year and purchasing my second house. So a huge goal is to purchase a house, and then I want to buy a car before I have a baby, because I want to have babies eventually, a couple years. So, and then I love remodeling houses. I've remodeled this entire house I'm living in now. We redid the floors, the carpet. We redid our counters. I like upgrading, putting in effort into my house and how it looks. I repainted all these walls. I have this wall left to do. But that's part of my financial goal, is to own a house and make it like the love of my life. 16, what is the biggest piece of financial advice you would offer someone considering teaching? Now, this is coming from someone who paid their own education themselves. My parents did not help me. it's just like, that's just how they grew up, and I almost like refuse them to help because like I feel kind of weird, like you guys are gonna pay for my education. That's just my, like, that's how we work in my family. Like my family's like, you got this, you do you, like you. My family's probably lower middle class, so I feel like guilty about taking. So I spent my whole education on my own. So my advice is, if you're going into teaching, realize that if you're in California, you will have to spend extra money on a lot of tests. However, it's part of the hoops you have to jump. I never complained about it. I just saw it and I'm like, let's do it. Even for my single subject, I have to take 2 subtests for my single subject in science. And I'm just like, let's do it. I recommend going to a junior college straight out of high school instead of a Cal State or private university. I like never wanted to go private university. The amount of money they upcharge, I'm just like, okay. I've had friends go to private universities. I refuse. I would stay in, but then again, I'm looking for the cheaper outcome. So I guess it depends on your goals. I would just say do the cheapest as possible so you aren't in mountains of debt. And I always went to Cal States. I will continue. I actually, for my teaching credential, I almost went to a private university and something in my gut told me not to, and I'm so glad I didn't. I would be into so much debt. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please leave it down below. I will try my best to answer them. I do want to end this video with, if your passion is teaching and your passion is kids, and if your passion is making an impact, do not let the fear of a teacher's salary deter you from being a teacher. If your heart is in teaching, but you're like, oh, I'm not gonna make that much money, there are ways to make money and there are ways to go about it so you do feel safe and secure. I'm a huge advocate for teachers, and it is so sad and upsetting that we have to think, oh, will I make enough as a teacher? Will I be able to live off a teacher's salary? And that's terrible. We are such a huge piece of our society, and for us to be so worried about that is very concerning, and that's actually something I need to research more. I have a book that my fiance gave me. Of course, I don't have it over here, but it's called The Teacher Wars, and I want to dive into it and get into it because I kind of want to figure out why. Like, why are teachers so underpaid, and why is education so underpaid? There's just this whole world that I want to understand. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. I put out teaching related videos, life related, beauty, whatever I feel like putting out. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.